Okay, we're here to start the beginning program. I have my lovely model, Juliana, here. Do you want to say hi to anybody?
Hello.
Juliana is going to demonstrate the exercise. We have 3 exercises in store here. The bridge, which we're going to explain in a second. We got the hip abduction, which is the side-lying exercise. And then we're going to do a ball squat. So those are the 3 exercises that are in store here today. But before we actually do the bridge, I just want to actually pan in on her pelvis area because we want to make sure that she's in a neutral position, which I'll explain in a second. What we want to do is we want to show the audience that you can actually go into that anterior pelvic tilt, and that's like an arch. And then we go into a posterior pelvic tilt, which is pushing her back to the floor. And now we go somewhere in the middle, and we tighten the abs. We're going to call that neutral. Okay? So that's the neutral position. Her abs are tight, and from this point on, she's going to maintain this posture. And now she's going to lift her hips up high as she can. We're going to hold that there so she doesn't lose that neutral. We have the bands around her. This is a yellow band from Perform Better. You can get it from performbetter.com. They come in various strengths. She's got the yellow, which is the beginner. The green is a little harder. The blue is hard, and the black is the hardest. So what we're going to do from this position is just pull her knees apart, just like this. This is going to work her hips on her side as well as her buttocks muscles. So we're working her gluteus on her sides, or the hip muscles, and then the butt. And then she comes back in. We're going to do a total of 10 to 15. At no time, you should not see her hips drop. She should stay up there, stay in the neutral position. How's that feel?
Feels good.
Where do you feel it?
Right around here.
Beautiful. Okay. So she's doing that. If that becomes too easy, we just simply move her up to a higher band. This is a single joint motion in that it actually is just pivoting at the hip. Okay? We're pivoting right at the hip. Okay? So we're trying to pre-exhaust the hip and butt muscles. If she starts to develop a cramp in her hamstring, which is not uncommon, she can just simply lift her toes up. That can sometimes get rid of the cramp. But she's not getting any cramp there. A lot of times that means that her hamstrings are doing more of the work than the butt because we're not used to working this position. So that is the single joint motion, supine two-legged bridge with the bands around the right around the knees. Okay, we're here to do the second exercise on the beginner program. We just finished the bridge. Now we're going to do what they call the side-lying hip abduction. It's a mouthful. This, again, is a single joint motion. We're only rotating at the hip, and I'll explain that in a second. But before, I just want to go over the position. She's in a neutral position, just like we explained on the last exercise. Her abs are tight, keeping stable, and her head is right on her arms. Sometimes a lot of women I see do this in classes. They'll be up like this, and that puts a lot of strain on the neck muscles in the front and the side here, and it can put some stress here in the side of the waist here. So we prefer to be nice, perfect alignment. Okay? She can put her hand in the front. What we're going to do now is just going to lift that leg up, Juliana. Just lift it up. It's only going in one plane of motion, meaning that she's just going up and down. A lot of times, if people are weak here in the hip abductors or the gluteus medius, or what women call the saddlebag area, is they'll compensate and they'll do something like this. And they'll make it into a hip flexion exercise because these muscles get worked all the time and they're stronger. So what we want to do is, we don't want to see that much motion. It's just a little bit. Just like that, and she still maintains. I try to have my people move forward just a slight bit, and that really feels it. Where do you feel that, Jewel?
Right around here.
You feel anything over here?
When I point up, I feel
Yeah, yeah. Move forward a little bit and do that again. Do a few more, just like that.
Yeah.
You feel right there? Beautiful. So just small little changes in posture can really change it. So if you want to point the toe down, it's going to hit more of this muscle. Do you feel the difference now? And if you point the toe up, you're going to get, that's called external rotation. That's going to work more of the gluteus maximus with the butt. So this is hip abduction. Again, a single joint motion, only rotating at the hip. Okay, if this gets too easy, you want to get 10 to 15. If it's too easy, we put an ankle weight on here. We want to stop at 15. You want to stop because you can't do a 16th rep. It's too tough. Then you would reverse sides, do the other side. This is the hip abduction side lying. Okay, we're here for the third exercise. Isn't Juliana just a fantastic model? We're here for the third exercise. Basically, we're doing a multiple joint motion now, like we talked about in the beginning of the show. We just pre-exhausted, if you will, the hips and butt by doing the single joint motions, the bridge,